30 days ago, I started selling a course with absolutely no idea what I was doing. I didn't know how to create a product. I didn't know what made a good product. I didn't know how to market it. And during this process, I made a lot of mistakes. I had some wins, and I want to teach you from what I've learned so you don't make the mistakes that I've made. Now, let me preface this by saying I used to be the guy that was completely against online courses. I thought, why would you pay someone hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to teach you something if you can just find all of that information online for free? And after spending 30 days building out my own course, I've almost completely changed my mind about this. Don't get me wrong, I still think that most courses are extremely overpriced. I think that most creators out there are just recycling the same information from another creator. A lot of them are using ChatGPT to make them. But as I was building out my course, I joined some other creators that I really like and trust and saw behind the scenes of what they do for their products and how they approach their programs. And I was actually extremely shocked with not only the quality of the information, but also the way that it was organized and the attention to detail that some of these guys put in. Now, from this, I've learned a few things about what a good course does. Number one, a good course speaks to a very specific person with a specific problem. For example, if you're selling a coaching program to 18 to 20-year-olds who are struggling with body dysmorphia after going to the gym, that will probably perform better than just a general health and fitness program for anyone from 18 to 40. Targeting a broad audience sounds like it's a good idea because you can market to hundreds of millions of people, but in reality, what really happens is none of those people end up getting emotionally invested in the product because they don't feel like it's speaking directly to them. While I was learning more about this info product space, I was reading, of course, Alex Hormozi's $100 million offers. You probably heard about it a million times, but one of the things that he said that really stuck out to me was the pain is the pitch. If someone feels like you can solve their problem for them, then they will buy. The second thing that a good course does is it makes the problem seem ridiculously simple and it makes the solution seem attainable. When you're a beginner and you're trying to learn a new skill or business, you have 100 different people that are giving you different information. This guy is saying one thing, this guy is saying another thing, and you don't have the experience to decipher what is useful information and what's not, which leaves most people in this analysis paralysis. So for my course, I played around with a few different ideas. One of them was like a social media marketing course because I've gone viral on pretty much every platform out there and I understand how to grow on social media quite well. Thought about doing a course on side hustles because I've tried pretty much every mainstream way to make money online from making these videos. But I came to the conclusion that both of these ideas weren't specific enough and there's a ton of competition in both with people who probably understand those business models better than I do. And I also just wanted to do something more original than that. And there's one idea that stuck out and that I thought had a ton of potential because number one, it's very specific. Number two, I understand it better than almost anyone else out there. And number three, it has an emotional selling point. And what I came up with was what I call the Villa Collab Blueprint, how to use social media to get anything for free. And this idea came from my recent trip to Southeast Asia, where I started in Bali, then went to Singapore for a little bit, and then Japan. And during this time, I started taking Instagram and posting online seriously. And within a couple of months, I went from 900 followers to over 40,000. And as I started getting more followers, I started to realize the absolute power that having a following online gives you. I started getting free multi-$1,000 Airbnbs to stay in for one Instagram reel. I started getting invited to meditation retreats for a story and experiences that people would pay thousands of dollars for free. This was a big revelation for me because I knew that you can make money on social media, but I didn't know that you can just straight up get things for free. And with this new knowledge, I thought that this is a good thing that I could teach other people how to do. This is also something that really has a strong emotional connection with people. You know, I get to tap into people's dream lifestyles of traveling and living in these crazy mansions, which is a very common desire for people, and I'm giving them a very easy and unconventional way to do it. Now, the next step from here, after I had a good idea, was to do some market research. I didn't want to just get into selling a product without knowing if people are actually interested. So before I sold anything, I created a free product giving an outline of this business model, how it works, and how anyone can replicate it. I put in enough information that it was valuable, but I didn't give them all of the answers. I left them wanting a little bit more. And I put this up as a free Notion document on Gumroad and promoted it a couple times on my story, and then just left it in my bio while a lot of my travel videos were getting a lot of engagement. And from this, I got 200 emails, 150 people who signed up for the free product, and then an extra 50 that signed up for a wait list for the paid product. And with this, I felt like I had enough information to start building out my paid product, so I started creating the course. So when it came to building out my course, I built it on WAP. I think this is one of the best platforms for actually creating and selling a course. And so here's what my course looks like. You have a VSL on the landing page, and this is me just talking to the camera, telling them about what the Villa Collab Blueprint is, what I think that people could get from this course. And then we go into courses and we have all of the modules here. So introduction, and then just some of the key things that I have for people learning. This platform is really cool because it's, number one, really easy to use for the person who purchases your course. There's a community chat where your members can give tips to each other and get feedback. You can add different files and stuff. So with my course, I was adding email templates. I was showing people how they can do cold outreach without doing it from scratch. So they had my template. And WAP has a bunch of really cool stuff too. Like one of them is this prize wheel where you can reward your community with different prizes. And if you guys are just building out your your course now, I would recommend going with WAP because they have a 3K and 30 days challenge right now, where if you get $3,000 in sales in your first month, they'll invite you to New York, they'll put your WAP on a Times Square billboard, you'll get a 2-night hotel stay, hang out with their team, and get a Wagyu steak dinner. So that's pretty unreal. So yeah, if you're building out a course, go check out the link in my description where you can sign up with WAP. So for marketing my course, I decided to start with Facebook ads first. The goal is to target people that had followed me and engage with some of my travel content and show them a way that they could do something similar, because they're already interested. And here are some of the ads that I made. Do you want to travel the world and live in luxury villas like this, but don't want to spend thousands of dollars a night? Right now I'm staying in this $2 million mansion in Bali for free. I didn't pay a single dollar to stay here. I paid for this place by making one Instagram post. And here's how you can do it too. So I just put together a guide on how you can copy exactly what I'm doing and stay in these luxury villas and your dream vacation homes for absolutely free, $0. Click link down below to learn more. This is what our Facebook looks like. So just started running ads 3 days ago. We've spent $66 in ads so far. Everything is actually looking pretty good. We have 43-cent cost per click. We have 60 link clicks overall. Woke up this morning to this, our first sale of the course. So not only did we make a sale on the course itself, somebody bought our first upsell for the lifetime updates, and they also paid for the $200 mentorship. Off of our first sale, our first converting customer, we are up to $313 in gross sales. 3 days in. This is looking really good so far. And this gave me so much confidence that I did something right with this offer. I mean, the fact that somebody paid $197 just to ask me questions for an hour is the reason that any of us get into this social media game. But with every high, there is a low, and we didn't end up getting another sale after that first sale for over 2 weeks after that. And then when I finally got the second, that person very quickly asked for a refund. And because I gave 100% money back guarantee to gain more trust from them on the front end, I had to give it back. So that was like a double blow. I went from very confident about this offer to thinking we just got lucky with that first one. So this is when I decided to change things up, because with 200 clicks on the landing page and only one sale, it was pretty obvious that something was not compelling people to buy. So here are some of my biggest mistakes up until this point. So first, I really didn't understand what I was selling and who I was selling to. If you can't explain your course's value proposition in one sentence, then you probably don't understand it well enough. So how are you gonna explain it to someone who wants to purchase it? When I first started selling this, I had someone helping me out with the landing page, and we had this huge landing page with a super long title that was hard to understand, and you had to scroll for years to even get a good idea of what I was selling. I had a VSL that was scripted, I was reading off a teleprompter, and to be honest, it just felt kind of inauthentic. I think the value was confusing and it just felt unattainable. Another thing I learned is to avoid overly specific circumstances. So you definitely want to market specifically to someone, but in my situation, this is a very specific offer. You know, no one else is really selling anything like this, and I was having a hard time even understanding who am I trying to sell to? Is it people who already have a social media and they're looking for ways to leverage it, or should I market to people who have no idea about this world and they just want free vacations? My situation with this is very, very specific, and it's very unlikely that anyone is going to replicate it exactly the way that I've done, and that's the way that it was coming across. So I decided to completely simplify this. I scrapped the original landing page idea with this super long funnel, and I just brought people straight to the WAP page with a new VSL that wasn't scripted. It was just me talking straight to the camera like this off the top of my head. And on top of that, I did something else that I actually wouldn't recommend for most people who are getting into this online digital product space. I lowered my price from $97 to $27. Now, to be honest, I only did this because I was running out of ideas and I wanted more proof that this offer could work, but there's a few reasons why I don't think that you should lower your price. When you lower your prices, you reduce the perceived value of your product. If you sell the same product to two groups of people, but one of them is $500 and the other is $50, the people who spend $500 are going to subconsciously believe that that product is more valuable. A good example is like if you go to a mall and you find a bracelet for $250 on the shelf. Chances are that bracelet doesn't have real gold in it, it's not real diamonds, so what makes it worth $250? It's just the fact that the brand selling it is saying that it's $250. You can probably go to Mexico or Indonesia or wherever and find that exact same quality for a fraction of the price. There's no difference in the actual value, it's just the perception of the value. So you actually shoot yourself in the foot when you lower your price, because number one, you kill your profit margins, number two, you kill the perceived value of the product, and you can only lower your prices so far before you get to zero. So yeah, that's just a lesson that I've learned with lowering your prices, but nonetheless, this is what I did with my product. I lowered the price, I refilmed the VSL, and kind of surprisingly, this actually worked. An hour after I lowered my prices, I got 2 sales at the $27 price point, but then nothing else for the next 48 hours. Facebook ads, I don't understand them. They've been killing me this entire time. I've been messing around with them for years, and still when I get results that are just all over the place like this, it just makes me want to explode my head. But even with those 2 sales, I had more social proof that people were actually interested in this, but I was moving more away from paid ads. I feel like it just wasn't the right approach for this. And up until this point, I don't know what was going on in my head. I have 45,000 followers, but I didn't post one story promoting this product. And with Black Friday coming up, I found the perfect opportunity to do so.
So it's Black Friday, and I put 2 stories out in the past 24 hours. And from those 2 stories, got 4 sales totaling about $115. I waited way too long to do organic.
So that brings us to the 30-day mark, and we're gonna go into our Stripe and see what our total revenue was. You can see our gross volume was $643. Minus the refund, it was $481. But we spent $470 on ads, so nothing to write home to for our first month selling this course. So yeah, I would say my biggest mistakes here are just not leveraging organic marketing, relying too much on Facebook ads, not feeling authentic with my offer, not believing in the offer. Another big mistake I made that I think lost me probably thousands of dollars is waiting a long time. Number one, I waited a long time in between my videos blowing up and offering the free product, so I missed out on a ton of emails. And number two, I waited months in between offering the free product and getting the emails and actually delivering the paid course, to the point where people probably just forgot about it and weren't interested. Another thing that I think really hurt me was lacking testimonials. So if you're in a position like me and you're just starting selling this course and you don't have any sales yet, give it to some of your followers for free, give it to some of your friends for free in exchange for a review. This is huge. They need to believe that they can do it too, that your conviction needs to be stronger than their skepticism. And this all goes back to, if you guys have read $100 Million Offers and some of these other sales books, it all goes back to creating an offer so good that people feel stupid saying no. You've probably heard it a million times, and if you haven't, you're welcome. Yeah, and man, building a course is much harder than it seems online. I know people like to clown people who are creating courses, but if you actually try to do it in a way where you're providing value and actually helping people, it takes a ton of work, not only from creating it, but there's marketing, there's email campaigns, there's creating the funnel, there's customer service. It really, really goes deep, and if you guys are getting into this, do it right. Don't sell a course with just some BS ChatGPT information in it. I hope this was valuable. We'll see you in the next video. Peace.